This one's for my mom. Love you. What is going on, guys? My name is Parker Narenstein. This is Vehicle Virgins, and today we are at Thunderhill Raceway with the all-new Tesla Model 3 Performance that includes the Track Pack. What is the Track Pack? It is the latest addition from Tesla to make the Model 3 that already was better than an M3 CS or a Giulia Quadrifoglio that much better. So check this out. Come along. We're about to go for a crazy drive around this track. And let me tell you, look, I've driven a bunch of supercars, guys, and I wouldn't lie to you. I'm not being paid by Tesla to say anything. I would not talk about this car in such a high light if I didn't think it was amazing. So the Track Pack, what is that? The cool thing is, if you get a Tesla, you already own a Model 3 Performance, you can actually go to the dealer, a service center, and get the Track Pack. That comes with some of the coolest looking wheels I think Tesla has ever made. They're made for better performance. You got better brake pads, you got better higher temperature brake fluid to make sure that it doesn't boil on the track. The real magic, however, happens inside the car. And what's even cooler is Tesla's decided with the Model 3 Performance that if you already own one, they're gonna over the air add all of these Track V2 features completely for free. You gotta love Elon. All right, come inside. In general, you don't think of a Tesla as a track car, right? It's an awesome representation of the future of the automotive industry. They've kind of reset the benchmark for electric vehicles. The truth is, in the beginning when Tesla was fighting Fisker and all these other companies, nobody really knew what the future was. Was it electric power? Was it hybrids? Was it hydrogen? Was it nuclear fusion? Probably not nuclear fusion, but you never know. Now it's pretty clear that electric power is the way of the future. And unlike some of their competitors in the early days, they proved that Teslas can not only look good, they can have good range, they can have a nice interior, a beautiful exterior, and they can be so fast that they make good reaction videos on YouTube. So, you know I like that. They also got just an amazing layout in the interior. So let's talk about that for a second. This car is very track focused in ways that you wouldn't expect. Now, I talked about this in my other video, highlighting some of the insane features of the car, but I'll go over it again in case you didn't see that video. I got a link in the description below for that. One of the things I love about this car is it's got a very simplistic interior. Some people didn't like it. They thought it's just a screen attached, it's too simple, but the simplicity is awesome. Not only does the screen look beautiful, it's positioned very well, kind of floating. It's like modern architecture in here. The touchscreen works really fast. The graphics are incredible. But the really cool thing is we have no gauge cluster here, which means because it's so low and the hood slopes downwards, your visibility on the track is unbelievable. You can see right down to place the car on the road. You can control the steering wheel by simply going to, oh, I don't know where that is. Okay, there we go. You can control the steering wheel, the telescope, as well as going up and down from buttons on the steering wheel. So we click the steering wheel and then look at that. Are you kidding me? That is freaking awesome. So what's cool is seating position is very important when you're on the track. You want to feel comfortable. You want to feel close to the wheel. You want to have control. You want to be able to not be too close to the pedals, but not be too far away from the steering wheel. You also want to have good visibility. This has all of the above. Now, before we get into the track features, this surprised me big time. This car has a sunroof. Now, you got to get the sunroof option. You just got to, because watch this. A Viper ACR, a track focus beast. I've driven a lot of them on the track. When you put a helmet on, there's no space. Despite the double bubble in the roof, you have to recline the seat, even at 5'11", so that your head tilts backwards. In the Tesla Model 3, go ahead and put this on. Look how much headroom I have while wearing a helmet, and the seat isn't all the way down. That is pretty damn impressive. All right, enough of the talking. Let's get behind the wheel of this, take it for a rip. All right, guys, so to put the car into track mode, this is called Track Mode V2, version 2. And we'll go over some of the features of it. You go to driving on the touch screen, you click track mode, you confirm track mode, and now we have some pretty awesome options. So, I mean, the car used to have chill mode and sport, you got variable steering feel, regenerative braking, but you got way more than that. So we click customize. Now we've got some default settings. That's 50-50 power split, rear wheel drive, front wheel drive. Stability control is on 0, which means it's on, but it's not aggressively on. And then we've got video recording. So if you want to see your track lap times, we've got a G meter on the side here that shows not only live data, but it records data. So you can see this was my last lap. Look how many G's this thing was pulling laterally. Then we have an awesome display here to show you battery temperature. So the battery is green, which means we're good to go. The tires are blue, which doesn't necessarily mean they're cold. It just means they aren't being loaded right now. If you overload the tires, all of a sudden they will flash either yellow or red. We've got brakes. If the brakes get too hot, they'll start turning yellow and they can start turning red as well. The cool thing is, this is green, right? A lot of people are like, the Tesla, you know, look, I've got 58% charge. Maybe it overheats. Maybe if it's at 58% and not 100, it's not going to be that fast. The cooling system in this, the thermal dynamics they use is unbelievable to keep the battery cool at all times. They actually artificially cool the battery too far so that when you're up to temperature, it's right in operating temperature. 58%, even still, we got full power. So we're going to go ahead and put it in drive. We're going to start with default. I'll talk about drift. We'll talk about VV mode. Let's roll. One thing I love about this car, guys, is that it's silent. You know I love screaming V8, V10, inline 6, straight 6, V12, W16. I love the sound of internal combustion cars, but there is something to be said about riding in silence. There's a time and a place for it for a sports car enthusiast. There's a time and a place for it every single day as a normal consumer. And honestly, with this level of performance, it's really growing on me. It is very interesting not hearing the sound of the engine, but there are some perks for a racetrack or the canyons. One, in the racetrack environment, you got no engine to distract you from tire noise. At least for me personally, I really like to hear the tires so I can tell. I mean, from a feel standpoint, you can tell if it's understeering or oversteering, but you get that extra little bit of auditory feedback so that you know what the car is doing. Now, in a canyon environment, not on the racetrack, it means if you're driving spiritedly, not necessarily over the speed limit, you can blast around with pretty much nobody knowing what's going on. The whole exhibition of speed thing is mostly from chirping tires and accelerating and making a lot of noise. This doesn't chirp the tires. It dead hooks, accelerates from 0 to 20 faster than any car on the planet, 0 to 60 in a ridiculous time. They quote 3.2 seconds. I don't buy it. It's probably around 2.6, 2.7. I wanted to use the V-Box. They probably just didn't want to show that it was so damn fast, because it's possible it's faster than the Model S because it's a lot lighter. Now, let's talk about Track V2. I talked about the Track package. That's a physical modification, which includes the wheels, the pads, as well as the brake fluid. But this car, with the Track Mode V2, has a lot of, I know I'm going to get roasted for that hand position there, we're driving casually, has some really cool features. So we're in default mode. We have infinitely variable switching from front wheel drive to rear wheel drive. Check this out. VV mode. We're in 50-50 split. Most cars, that's typical. Sometimes it's a rear wheel drive car that uses all wheel drive when it needs it. This, we can switch all the way to 100% front wheel drive. Why would you do that? I don't know, for fun. Maybe in the snow, perhaps. We can do 100% rear-wheel drive. Now, you know the AMG GTR, Alejandro, my buddy who's here, he has an AMG GTR, he had one. We've got, on that car, a 9-stage traction control system that's very cool. You turn dial, it's got 9 different settings, but Tesla changed the game, right? So we've got -10, that's stability control all the way off. It goes in increments of 1 all the way to +10. This is like grandma mode, or if it's raining, you know. I'm gonna leave it at 0. If this was my car, it would be here, but we're gonna leave it at 0. It's really cool that you can change this, guys. Post-drive cooling, usually only on supercars. This allows you to cool the battery down, the drivetrain components, after you're done with the track, so you can go back out again. Compressor overclock, it basically works somewhat like a refrigerator. The compressor runs overtime to cool the battery further and record video. You can record video. All of the lap time data is stored in the ECU. So if we go ahead and do track mode settings, here we are, right here, a beautiful, look at that, you pinch like a dang iPhone, and we can go ahead and set a point right there, and that is now going to start recording, even though I'm going really slow. Actually, we'll start it later on in the track. Go ahead and hold that down. I've never been in a car that allows you to pick points for start and finish, and you can do this not on just a track that's GPS based, you can do it anywhere. Go ahead and start, and let's go. So the power in this car is obviously ridiculous. The brakes are awesome, but the variability with the drive modes is unfreaking believable. And what's really cool about the car is it can basically teach you how to drive better. I've never been in a car that essentially helps you learn as you are driving. Now, how does it help you learn as you're driving? Well, it has a ridiculous amount of data that it spits out that you can see and download onto your computer, as well as a live recording that shows you exactly what you're doing. And then you can mess with various levels of traction control as you get more and more comfortable on the track and really have a blast. You got infinite torque vectoring, both with the brakes as well as the individual electric motors, that allows you to corner so well. Now, you'd think maybe it would, I don't know, not corner quite as flat as you would think. Nope, absolutely not. We got a low center of gravity because of the batteries. The brakes, I don't know, it's a Tesla, it's not a Ferrari. The brakes are fantastic. Levels of grip, we've got Michelin Cup 2s. That's the best in the business for a track-focused tire that's legal on the road. And it accelerates quickly, it grips well, it's predictable, it slides well, and honestly, I freaking love this car so much. I said in the last video that if we get 50,000 likes, I'll buy it. Just in case that video didn't get 50,000, I think it will. If this video gets 50,000 likes, I will buy a Tesla Model 3 Performance with the track package. Now after this, we're gonna do a little fun video with the Ferrari. I'm gonna take that for a spin around the track. They're so gracious to let me drive that car at a Tesla event. Now I'm gonna show you how a $420,000 Ferrari with 800 horsepower compares to a Tesla Model 3 Performance. It's pretty surprising. What? This is the sickest thing ever. See you next video.